Bruce Lee wasn't just a martial artist. He became a global icon who changed the way the world viewed martial arts, discipline, and Asian representation in film. Millions admire his speed, his philosophy, and his unforgettable movies. But behind the legendary image was a man whose life was far more complicated than most people realize. He battled painful injuries, faced discrimination in Hollywood, trained with relentless intensity, and achieved worldwide fame in only a few years before his life ended unexpectedly at the age of just 32. Even today, decades after his passing, people continue to debate his legacy, his training methods, and the circumstances surrounding his death. So, what was the real story behind the legend? In this video, we'll explore 10 lesser-known facts about Bruce Lee's life. Some are inspiring, some are heartbreaking, and some reveal just how much he sacrificed to become one of the most influential martial artists in history. Let's begin. Fact number 1. Bruce Lee. Trained beyond normal human limits. When people watch Bruce Lee's movies, it's easy to think his incredible speed and power were natural gifts. The truth is that Bruce believed talent meant very little without relentless practice. His daily routine was unusually demanding. He combined martial arts drills with running, strength training, flexibility exercises, heavy bag work, and hours of technical practice. Unlike many martial artists of his era, he also experimented with weight training, believing that properly designed strength exercises could improve speed and explosive power. Bruce carefully recorded many of his workouts and constantly searched for better ways to train. If he discovered a new exercise or technique, he tested it himself instead of simply following tradition. This commitment helped him develop the speed that amazed audiences around the world. But there was a price. Pushing his body so hard day after day meant living with frequent fatigue, soreness, and injuries. Friends and training partners described someone who rarely seemed satisfied, always trying to become faster, stronger, and more efficient. For Bruce Lee, perfection wasn't a destination. It was an endless pursuit. Fact number 2. A serious back injury nearly ended his career. One of the biggest turning points in Bruce Lee's life happened away from the movie cameras. In 1970, he suffered a serious back injury during a training session. The injury caused severe pain and forced him to stop the intense physical training that had become central to his life. For someone whose identity was built around movement and martial arts, the experience was devastating. Recovery wasn't quick. Bruce spent months focusing on rehabilitation, studying philosophy, and reflecting on his future. During this difficult period, he continued writing about martial arts, discipline, and self-improvement. Rather than allowing the setback to define him, he used it as motivation. When he eventually returned to training, he approached it with even greater determination. His comeback became one of the strongest examples of resilience in his life. The injury changed him, but it didn't stop him. Fact number 3. Hollywood didn't know what to do with him. Today, Bruce Lee is celebrated as one of cinema's greatest martial arts stars. But early in his career, success was far from guaranteed. Hollywood in the 1960s offered very few leading roles to Asian actors. Many productions relied on stereotypes instead of giving talented performers meaningful opportunities. Bruce believed audiences were ready for something different. He wanted to show Asian characters as intelligent, confident, and heroic, not as side characters or cliches. When opportunities failed to appear, he refused to wait for permission. Instead, he built his reputation by teaching martial arts, demonstrating his remarkable skills, and eventually creating projects that showcased his own vision. That determination ultimately transformed him into an international superstar and opened doors for many performers who came after him. Sometimes the greatest obstacles become the foundation of a lasting legacy. Fact number 4. Bruce Lee created his own martial arts philosophy. Bruce Lee wasn't just interested in mastering martial arts, he wanted to rethink them. After years of studying different fighting styles, he began to question whether following a single traditional system was always the best approach. Instead of limiting himself to one discipline, he believed martial artists should take useful techniques from many sources and adapt them to real-life situations. This philosophy eventually became known as Jeet Kune Do, often translated as the way of the intercepting fist. For Bruce, fighting wasn't about memorizing countless forms. It was about efficiency, adaptability, and constant learning. One of his most famous ideas was absorb what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. At the time, these ideas challenged long-standing. Fact number 5. Fame came with constant pressure. By the early 1970s, Bruce Lee had become one of the most recognizable martial artists in the world. To millions of fans, he seemed fearless and unstoppable. But behind the scenes, the demands of fame were growing rapidly. He was expected to train every day, perform difficult action scenes, meet production deadlines, travel, give interviews, and maintain the extraordinary physical condition that audiences admired. Fact number 6. His sudden death shocked the world. On July 20th, 1973, Bruce Lee died unexpectedly in Hong Kong at just 32 years old, only weeks before the international release of Enter the Dragon. The news stunned fans across the globe. His death came at the height of his career, when many believed he was only beginning to transform action cinema. According to the official findings reported at the time, Bruce Lee died after developing swelling of the brain, a condition known as cerebral edema, which was linked to a reaction to medication. Fact number 7. Why so many theories still exist. Whenever a world-famous person dies unexpectedly at a young age, questions often follow. Bruce Lee's case was no exception. Over the years, many books, documentaries, magazine articles, and online discussions have explored alternative explanations for his death. Some suggested hidden enemies. Others claimed secret organizations were involved. Still others proposed entirely different medical explanations. However, it's important to separate speculation from established evidence. 8. His family experienced another tragedy. Years after Bruce Lee's death, his son, Brandon Lee, also died in a tragic accident while filming a movie. The heartbreaking loss shocked fans around the world and led to even more speculation surrounding the Lee family. It remains one of Hollywood's most tragic stories. Fact 9. Fame came with enormous pressure. Bruce Lee wasn't just trying to become successful. He was carrying the hopes of countless people who wanted to see greater Asian representation in international cinema. The pressure to constantly perform, train, and succeed was enormous. Fact number 10. His legacy became bigger than his lifetime. Bruce Lee's movie career lasted only a few years. Yet decades after his passing, millions of people still study his philosophy, watch his films, and admire his discipline. His greatest achievement may not have been his fighting ability, but the way he inspired generations to believe that limits can be broken. Bruce Lee's life proves that legends aren't remembered because they were perfect. They're remembered because they changed history. From unbelievable discipline to global fame, and from incredible success to an untimely death, Bruce Lee's story continues to inspire millions around the world. But one question still remains. What do you think was the most shocking fact about Bruce Lee? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinion. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more hidden stories, dark facts, and untold histories of the world's most famous celebrities, subscribe to Fact Matrix and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next investigation. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed. This is Fact Matrix.